Hello there, I'm Sarfancy, and in this tutorial I will show you how to create simple brick breaker game. It can be for mobile or even for PC, it doesn't really matter. Well, let me show you how it will look like. You can see that I have here bricks, they change color if you hit them once, if you hit them twice they disappear. And I have also here this ball and this weird player on the lower part that I can control with my mouse. Well, brick breaker, what do you really expect? The whole game is in 2D, so it's very performance light, so you can use it for phone, basically any phone. You could play it on old Nokia. Well, let's get to it. We will have to create new project, and it doesn't really matter what version of Unreal Engine you use, it will work with almost anything, and we'll just create blank project. So let's click on next, and it will be for blueprints, and let's switch it to mobile and tablet, and leave it on scalable to 3D or 2D. And we don't need starter content and neither the ray tracing. And let's call it Brick Breaker. Open the project. Well, first of all, let's press Ctrl S to save this current level, and we will call it main. Oh, you know what? Let's call it just map 01. Well, we can presume that you will have more than one level. So let's save it, and we have it right here. And just to have it a bit organized, let's create a new folder and call it levels. Put both of it here. And now the next thing we will have to do is to create some blueprints. So, and again, new folder and call it blueprints. Let's go inside it and also click on this little left icon that will show you your tree structure or hierarchy. So let's go into blueprint and create new blueprint. First of all, you need game mode. So let's call it main underscore game mode, or just GM will be fine. And let's put it right here in our world setting and game mode override. Let's go here. Now click on this little arrow next to selected arrows, and we will have to create new default pawn. So again, right click, blueprint class, and it will be pawn. And we will call him main player. Alright, and put it right here again. And before we get to development, we also need to change few settings, because we want to, first of all, play that game in vertical mode. Because right now if you click on play, you can see that we have this, very much not good. Let's click on edit then, editor preferences, and we should find here play, and next to common resolutions you have to click on this little icon that will switch it to vertical. But this is only for preview, and you can also change it to have a correct resolution for each of these devices if you want to develop for something specific. But now let's close it and go back into, well, go back because we've never been there, but let's go to project setting, and we have to find here Android, and if you scroll right here on orientation, we have to switch it to portrait. And I believe that something very similar will be to it will be here for iOS, and switch this support portrait orientation. We will start in main character, and oh come on, open full blueprint. You probably don't have it, but if you do, you know what to do. And we'll have to create here a new cube for our player. So let's change its dimensions to scale it up a bit. And we also have to add here camera. And make sure that it's not under our cube, because you can see how much it is deformed. And if it is deformed like that, you can simply click on this arrow, reset to default, and lock axis. So let's now take that camera and move it all up. And rotate it so it's looking at our player from above. And make sure that it's about 90 degrees on y-axis, because we want him to be looking right at him. Compile, play. And it seems like it works, but let's say that I don't want to have it in 3D, but I want to have 2D game. So let's click back on camera and switch it to orthographic. If I play now, I will probably very much zoomed in, yes. So let's take this ortho width and move it to, or just set it to 2084. Play, and it looks a bit better. And the thing is that I'm testing it with display mode. If you want to test it in that real portrait mode, which you will play it on your phone, you have to click on standalone game right here. Oh no, sorry, my bad, not a standalone game, a new editor window. Yep, exactly this. That's better. Alright, and I want to have our player in the lower part of the screen. So let's take that cube, we will rename him to player. So we don't have to do it later. Let's add here collision, box collision, put it all around him. And now move that player way to back. It's actually kind of hard to see, so let's first of all scale up this background or a floor. Let's call it floor, and let's go with 4 times 4 and move it down a bit. Alright, if we click now on play, we can see him much better than before. So now move that guy down. Alright, that looks about right. Well, now let's set up some movement for him. Well, for that we will need, first of all, go back into project setting, because we will generally use touch, but it doesn't really work in Unreal Engine regularly, so you need to enable use mouse for touch so you can simulate it. And now in main player, we'll have to get player controller. And now let's get hit result under finger by channel, and you want to use touch 1 and use visibility. And as our hit result, come on, let's complete that, and we will need to use hit result location, and we can split it again, but it will be kinda weird. So let's break it, break vector to our x, y, and z coordinates. And we know that we won't really move our z coordinates because we are working in 2D, and we don't want to move up and down because you wouldn't be able to see it with orthographic camera. So I want to work only with y-axis, because I also don't want on x-axis for my player to move up and down. Now what we want to do is to take that player and set its world location. So set world location. Now split the structure pin, and on X and Z, let's ignore Z for now, we will just have to take X. So for X we will take our player and get its world location, and take that X right here. And Z, let's switch to, let's do 100, and remember the number because we will use it for everything. And now let's take our y-axis and try to connect it here, and connect it after event kick. And let's see if it works. Now if I click on play, it's cool, but I have mixed axis. As you can see, I can move up and down, but not really left and right, which is what I wanted. So we will change it to X and Y right here. And now look at that, I can with my mouse move it up and down, well, left and down, exactly like that. I may have a bit too much coffee today. So that works nice, but now the problem is that if I let it go, it will be back at the center, which we don't really want. So what we will do is to prevent it, and we simply can do it right here under our event tick. So move it right here, and we'll put here branch. We need to get our condition from somewhere, and for that we will use event touch, and somewhere here should be touch, right, this one. Click on that condition, prompt it to variable, let's call it is touching, and once you will put your finger on the screen, which means pressed it, it will be set to true, and once you release it, it will be set to untrue again or false. So right now when it is on true, you want it to follow and set world location based on where on your screen is your finger. But if it's not true, I simply want to set world location again, but just take it to location that it originally was. So put it right here, get our player, get player. Oh, come on. Get world location, recombine it, and connect it right here. And our target, of course, should be player, and put it under false. So let's quickly comment it. Ctrl C. If finger is on screen, And because I'm lazy, I will just copy that text and comment all this. Control C. Wait, I mixed them. Well, this one is if finger is on screen, and this one if finger is not on screen. Is not on screen. And let's see if it actually even works. If I play it, move it, and put my mouse somewhere else, it's still on the same place, but if I put it somewhere else on the screen, it will quickly switch there, which is just what I would like it to do. So now what we need is to also get us some ball. And you know what, before that, let's change kind of colors and resuit it. We'll create new material, call it main material. Let's open that material, and first of all, let's put here constant, and that constant will be after roughness. So let's do, let's say 0.4, Control C, Control V, 0.7 for metalness, metallic, and then create another constant that will be vector3 color vector, connect it right here and leave it on black, convert it to parameter and just call it color. And I'm simply doing it, and I actually am doing it in blueprints folder for some weird reason. So let's switch it to content, back here, move it here, and we'll create here new material, new folder, materials, switch your material in there, and we will create few material instances. Let's go here, blue one, and for that simply click on color, enable it, and switch it to blue. This is weird blue, but let's leave it on that. Save it and create another one. Let's do red one. You know what, we have already red and blue, so you know there is only one thing I can do. I hope that you all guessed it right. And I didn't plan this, but it's kinda nice accident. One of those happy accidents. So now when we have this, first let's leave floor like that. I kinda like floor with this checker puzzle stuff, but we will change material for our player and switch it to let's do blue. Let him be blue. This is cool. And now let's get to creating that actual ball. So new blueprint, it will be actor. Let's call him ball underscore PP, which is cool. And add here new sphere. That will be fine. And let's make sure that that sphere is simulating physics. And also we want to change linear dumping and change it to 0. Don't want it to do any dumping at all. And let's also change color of it, and it will be red. Let's see how big it is. Okay, that's cool. You know what? It will be actually better if we leave it at white. You can of course do whatever you want with it. I will just quickly create a new one, white. Alright, so I have it on white. It's kind of metallic white, but doesn't really matter. So now what I want to do is to, when the game starts, I want to add impulse. So on the event begin play, we'll add impulse to our sphere. And that impulse for the start, let's set it just on x-axis, because that's up and down. No, it's actually y-axis is up and down. Let's put it on 1000. And to make sure that it won't actually go along the axis, because that would mess everything up, we'll have to click on that sphere. And on the right here, we have physical constraints, and let's lock z-axis and all the rotation axis. So now if we click on play, it's flying somewhere and it probably won't ever come back. So, well, first of all, we need to make sure it's on the same z coordinates as our player. And if you remember, we have set it by default on 100 right here. So let's do the same thing here. On event begin play, we will have to set world location, take it from sphere, we'll set world location, and again we will get world location for x and y axis, and z set to 100. X and Y. And make sure that it's before the impulse, because it would kind of mess it up if we did it after. Yep, that seems fine. So now what you can see is that it's kind of moving and it would move forever. Let's put some meshes here so it doesn't really fall off our gaming mat. Like that. And you of course have to always check it if it's close enough so you can see it in your camera. Alright, you have to build something like that, and now if I click on play, my ball will flow off it, and it will of course collide with it and not go through, which is exactly what we are looking for. But you can see that it kind of caused some friction, and even though the ball is still moving, it's slowing down more and more. And that's because by default materials have set up some sort of friction that slows down physics, and we need to rewrite it. So we'll have to right click and put here physics and physics material. Click on this physics material, select, let's call it low friction underscope material, or just phys. And you have to apply it to all these assets. So let's scroll down, we have here collisions and physics material override. So let's put it here. This and this, and what's most important, you have to put it on your ball. So edit ball BP sphere, and you have to change it here. Just click on node and right here. And just to be completely sure, I don't think it really matters that much, but let's put it also here under our player. You also have to change the setting, of course. So let's open that material and friction. Come on, friction set to 0, resist, which is bounciness, you want to set to 1, because we want velocity outcoming to be same as incoming, which you can read right here. So let's save it and click on play. And now let's see how it works. And it seems like it works perfectly, look at that. It doesn't seem to show any signs of weakness or slowing down, which is exactly what we would expect from balls such as this one. What the hell was that? I see. Be aware that you can make the same mistake like me right here. I have put it way too low, and because of that it flew right next to it. So let's just make sure that we put both of them right here. Remember, you will have always your player and your ball in z-axis 100, which you can test right here, and just make sure that it doesn't happen. Alright, I would say that it's time to save everything if you haven't already. And let's add here some bricks. We will have to create a new blueprint for that. That blueprint will be of course actor. And let's call it brick underscore BP. Open it. And to do, let's put here of course cube. And make it look like a brick. Let's put it in the game, see how it looks like. That looks brickish. So we will change material, of course, and that material will be, let's start with green, and once it will be hit, it will turn into red, and then it will be destroyed. So you will have to hit it twice with the ball to let it be destroyed. So let's add here collision, box collision, and make it much bigger. Alright. And this time let's try to actually match it as precisely as you want. You don't want to have too much of a difference between them. And first of all, let's again make sure that it's on the z-axis. We want to take our cube, set world location, split structure pane, and again get world location. X and Y should stay the same, and Z should be by default set to 100. So now let's put few of them here. It's fine, and you can see that it's a bit slowing down when it touches them, because we need to, of course, apply here also our new physics material. So click on cube, and physics material override low friction physics. So that's just a bit of a thing. But now we have to program what it should do once it interacts with that ball. So we'll have to click on our box collision and on event begin overlap. Let's cast to ball, because we want to interact only when it will cast with our ball BP. Connect it to adductor. And let's do two things actually. First of all, let's put here branch. Create here new condition. Let's call it second hit. And what we want to do by default is to set it to true, which it is. And when it will be true, you want to take your cube and set material, then material of index 1 and color red right here. And once it will be false, you want to destroy actor. So, and also after setting that material, you want to change second hit to false. This is very simple trick. Once it will overlap for the first time, it will change color and set the second hit to false, which will cause that on component begin overlap second time, it will go here in false and destroy actor. And we actually don't want to destroy it immediately. We want to wait for delay. Let's say 0.1 should be fine. Because we first of all want to that ball to interact with this physical object before it will be destroyed. So let's click on play and you can see that it's already touching it and doing what you would expect. Yeah, once it hits once, it will turn to red, and if it hits again, it will turn to dead. Red to dead, basically. And what's up here? Why this one didn't work? You can see that I have made a bit of a mistake here. That collision doesn't cover the whole of it, so I have to scale it up here and actually make it a bit smaller on a red x-axis. Alright, I believe that we have main logic of the game behind us, which is pretty good, guys, considering the time. Just a quick thing I forgot to set up. Right now the ball always starts here, which is pretty stupid, so let's go back into blueprints in main player. And what we want to do here is add here an arrow and put that arrow under our player and put it in sort of in front of him. Let's say something like this. And what we want to do is on event begin play, put here sequence, and you want to spawn it based on where it is. You can of course put here a different action to spawn it. In PC you could put here a spacebar or something, or in the mobile game the double click or just simple button on the screen, but right now I will just put it after event begin play so I don't really waste your time. So let's put here spawn actor from class, and that actor from class will be spawned on transform of that arrow. So get world transform right here, and it will be ball. Make sure that it's not somewhere here. Yeah, this looks cool. So now we click on play, you can see that it was spawned there. Let's put here longer delay so you can really... Oh, I didn't put there a delay, that's the problem. Put here 1. So now on play, you will wait a bit and then it will spawn and you can play and play and play. And I would probably increase that first impulse. It's only about 1000, so let's put here 2 or 2000 or maybe 3000 if you want to have a really fast game. All up to you. So let's also make sure that we can die here. So we will go into main player and right behind him we will create new collision. So collision, box collision, and put it right here. And for now let's make it all big and visible. By visible I mean going right here and disabling hidden in game. You can see that it's right here, which is cool, and it needs to be bigger. So scale it up so it covers the whole of it. Yeah, that's cool, because right now we will make sure to rename it because we want to stay organized. Let's call it dead underscore collision or just call, and this one should be just box underscore collision. We want to actually work with dead collision, so let's put here on component begin overlap, scroll it down, And of course we want to overlap with our ball, so cast to ball underscore pp, connect it to other actor. And let's say that once it happens, I want to wait for a bit, so delay about half a second, so 0.5 seconds, and then let's get current level name and open level. This is simple code that will restart the game. So connect it. Alright, and see. Click on play, and I will let it go, and you can see that it restarted our game. And there are also these controllers which you probably want to get rid of, so if you want to do that, let's go into project setting, put here touch, and you can see these default with virtual joysticks. Just click on that and clear it. You don't want anything like that. Alright, now we are missing only one thing, and that's to figure out how to know where the game ended, because we need to know when all these bricks were destroyed. There is a very simple way how to do it. Click on your main player, and we will need event begin play. And after that we will get all actors of class, and that class will be of course our brick. And what you want to do is to first of all get its length and print that number. That will tell us how many actors brick BP are still in the game. So then you want to wait for a bit. Let's say every 3 minutes. It's generally very expensive, so you don't want to put it under event tick or something like that. Let's put here as at least 3 to 5 seconds, so it doesn't trigger too often. And then let's do it again. Just doing this blueprint magic. Alright, compile and see. Alright, you can see on the left upper corner. I know sides are not really my strong suit. We could have seen number 6, and now when most of them were destroyed, you can see number 3, which basically means that we have destroyed 3 of them, and now it should be 2. Yeah. So now when we have this working, let's rework it. We will put here branch, and that branch, and we will use this as condition, because we know that once this number will be equal to 0, you want to end the game. So let's just print string end, and once it will be false, let's say that you just want to print the amount of the bricks that are remaining. You of course don't have to do that. Player generally doesn't need to know that, but it's good to know. And in case it will be false, which means it's not a 0, you want to repeat it after again 5 seconds. So let's put here delay 5 seconds, etc. You don't need to repeat it of course after end, because there is no reason to. Okay, let's quickly destroy them. And you can see that on the left upper screen I have end. Great. You can of course use this to trigger any kind of action to let's switch it to loading another level. Let's put here, it actually don't need to put here delay. Let's put here open level, and we will quickly create new level. Let's go into levels, save all, duplicate it, map 02. That's exactly what I would like to. Alright, something like that. So now make sure that you save it and switch back into level 1, because now in blueprints, the main player, we want to, once this level will end, I want to load the next one, and you can, let's say, turn it into variable, and you can change this variable on start of every level. So let's say that once this level starts, it will change this variable to 02, on next level it will be to 03, and continue to infinity and beyond. But let's this time switch only to level 02, and just to make sure, let's rename it, Ctrl C, and put here Ctrl V, and let's call that variable next level. So now quickly play the game. If you feel like that ball is moving too slowly, you can of course increase that impulse, and for example you can set it up so it will slowly increase the speed once as the game will go on, but it's all up to you. You can add here different modifiers and different upgrades And if you do, feel free to join the Discord and share it. Every Friday in Discord group, we usually share what each of us did this week and how it progressed, etc, etc. This is taking way too long. You know, when you have so many time, you can press the like button. Alright, all of them are destroyed, so let's wait and try to not die. Oh, okay, I managed to not die. And you can see that you actually need to build the light. I was lying to. And everything works. On the next level you have 11 or now 10 of them remaining, and if you would destroy it again, in this time it would load the next one because we haven't set up anything for next level, but it works. Congratulations guys, you got this brick breaker game. Alright, that's about it. Now you can create this brick breaking game for your phone, or actually even one for PC. As you can see, I was testing it all this time on PC, so that's about it. If you manage to add some upgrades or make that game more colorful, more beautiful, feel free to share it on Discord. I would love to see it there, and don't forget to press the like button and all these funny stuff. Well, SirFancy out.